Alright, if I was an animal, what animal do you think I would be? Serious answers only. A rooster. A rat. A rat. You'd be a rat. You'd be a rat. I think you'd be a rat. I think I'd be a wolf. I think so too. I would be a wolf-lion hybrid mix. King of the jungle, but still social and with it and ferocious.
Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today I wanted to do some more F-Tier Fridays. So I was looking at this interview, I guess, with Eugene C, who's, I think, one of the most S-tier Rhinar players currently in the world. I think Nathan Crawford put him lovingly in S-tier when I was watching his tier list recently. So I saw they did kind of like a little bit of a deck tech, so I kind of watched through it kind of very briefly, got kind of like a high-level overview of like what cards come in, what cards don't come in. And I wanted to try to play his list today, so I wanted to pull that up. Yeah, so this is the list from Eugene C. This is his Rhinar list that he kind of like brought up on the card guys. I saw a couple people also like play this in paper against me, which was kind of interesting. And I wanted to give this list a shot. So I haven't done a ton of background research on this list or like testing with this list, which I normally do for F-Tier Fridays just because it's been a really kind of brutal week of work this week, and we've also both been sick. But I wanted to give this list a shot, just have some fun with it, play with it. And like Rhinar, I don't know, he feels like he's always just like so close to being like a very, very like solid hero. Like he keeps getting expansion cards, but like still just seems like he's missing like 2 or 3, which is weird because it felt like he was missing like 2 or 3 kind of like recently as well. So I don't know. We're gonna give this hero a shot though, and see how it goes. Again, I can't promise that I'm going to be playing it to the best of my ability here because again, I'm still kind of recovering from being sick, and also work has been kind of rough. But yeah, I want to give this list a shot, and let's go ahead, just have some fun, get some games, and see how it goes. All right, so we got an Aurora here. I don't know if we actually want the AB1 into them. Feels like it might not be necessary, but I could definitely see it. We could also... So I was looking at how to board this. I was wondering if shelters come in. I feel like CNCs also probably do come in, and then maybe we just run some of these like kind of just good attacks. I was debating what the mighty windups are for, but it feels like those might not be. Like, I feel like the pummels are also maybe like a little bit too awkward also with the mighty windups. I'm not entirely sure. This looks like maybe fine. Again, the one no AB is kind of suspect, but I think one AB is also a little bit suspect. So maybe we'll try this and see how it goes. All right, seems like they're on balance. Pretty good. Do have an agile windup in the opening hand, which is quite nice, but we can only block 6 here, which is maybe not ideal. All right, revealing a second strike, so they're gonna ping us for 1. That's fine. I guess we'll just double block this. Just play around like lightning press or whatever. And then we can just set up a windup for next turn. We do have the Wild Ride, but maybe we can just like arsenal that depending on what we draw. I feel a little bit bad here because I've not been able to really get enough practice on this deck beforehand, just because work has been pretty rough this week. But we'll do our best. We're just going to have some fun with this list, I think. All right, discard the windup end of turn. Hopefully sets us up for a nice go again on next turn. All right, we have double freewheeling renegades for what that's worth. It's kind of cool. I guess? Sure. Like pseudo 6 that forces you to block is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know if AB1 is correct in this matchup. It's probably for someone who's it's probably a question for someone who's played a lot more of this matchup than I have, obviously. I think this is maybe my first time playing this matchup, so bear with me, obviously. But I guess double freewheeling is kind of interesting. At least forces blocks, which is pretty good. And like we've already got a little bit of armor out of them, so I'm kind of happy with that. And we also get to Arsenal Wild Ride here, which is, I think, a pretty good Arsenal target. Right. We have Wild Ride, we have Alpha Rampage. I feel like we're just supposed to let this go. If they have CLV, it's like whatever. See what they got. I feel like I want to try to save my armor for like Snatch or whatever. It seems like they're going to Somersault. Notably, I think they changed this recently. I guess it was a while ago. They changed it so that you can like Somersault after reacts. I remember when it was you had to Somersault during reacts. Made the card a little bit more interesting. I guess like you get more information out of it now, which is kind of cool. But I feel like it was already a good card. Like you didn't really have to make it better. But I guess the rules changes, I guess, make sense. All right, so we'll take a little bit of damage here. I guess we're only taking 8 damage off the turn, which is not like terrible. And then this turn, I think we're just going to go for the Wild Ride and then see what we draw discard. If we hit the Beast Within, it's obviously great. If we don't hit the Beast Within, we could like follow up with like Splatter Skull or something. There's also like a small merit to trying to roll Scabs here. So if we whiff on Scabs, it's not terrible. Or sorry, if we obviously roll 1, it's terrible, but that's 1 in 6, right? What is the alternative here? We can Mantle of Claw plus like pitch this to Splatter Skull. I feel like I'd rather roll Scabs so that we can maybe like try to fit the Savage Feast in here, but then we're still, I guess, only discarding one of these two. So maybe I should like not be greedy and just go for Splatter Skull. I guess it depends a little bit. Let's not get too greedy. Maybe just go for Splatter Skull. I could also see rolling Scabs there be correct, but like Splatter Skull is already threatening like pretty decent disruption, taking a card out of their hand. So if we can take 2 cards out of their hand, I think I'd also be happy. I guess we'll see what they do here. So they have to give us at least 1 card plus armor. Maybe like a Sigil Suffering here or something. Yeah, Sigil's pretty good. Alright, so they will get that card back. I guess we just Arsenal Savage Feast. Hope to see, I guess, a Blood Rush pretty soon. Alright, Ravenous Rabble, we're doing E-Strike on top. I think that's fine. So what are we doing on our turn? We can... this might be a scenario where we have to roll Scabs, or I guess we can also do like barraging into Splatter Skull. Let's take this and see what happens. If it's CLV, obviously a little bit unfortunate. I'm surprised they didn't play that on the Sigil Suffering last turn. Interesting. I guess it's worth face up, but like they still at least get the guaranteed card. Like it's just strictly better, right? To play it on their turn, and then it's just all upside if we block out on their turn. But yeah, almost wondering if AB is worth it in this matchup, just because I guess you get to play into like Sigil Suffering and then also pay for Rune Chance. Could be good. Right, making embodiment, and then what? Surprised they're making embodiment now too. I feel like they might want to make it at end of turn. Huh. Alright, so I guess we'll try to block Snatch here. If they have the press, it's unfortunate, I guess, but seems fine. We get to send in the Splatter Skull for 9, which is pretty good. Fortunately, we're having to attack into CLV, which feels pretty bad, but they did have to like waste their embodiment there, which I guess I'm kind of happy with. Alright, so let's go ahead and send in the Barraging, and I guess just send in Splatter Skull. I guess 3-card 9 with an on-hit is like pretty alright. We do have to, I guess, give a piece of armor to get that extra point of value, but I think it's okay. I feel like we're just holding out for the Blood Rush turn, maybe. They have another Sigil here. It's obviously unfortunate. Yep. So maybe the lesson learned here is maybe we do want AB. Again, I'm not a Rhinar expert. And we also banished the Scar for a Scar, which would have done like nothing on their turn. Yeah, I feel like either we're boarding wrong or this game is just like not going our way. Maybe the AB is just like necessary though. I can see that no AB being wrong. maybe is a little bit too aggressive. All right, I guess we'll try to give some armor to this. Maybe now is the time to just give uh Scowling, just so that we hopefully can get rid of the CLV this turn. It'll do that and get put Skull Crack in front of it as well. Seems like now is probably a pretty good time to use the flashback here. Then we try to react whatever the other thing is, and then be like Savage Feast on our turn or something. Could be pretty good. They have a blue here, they can obviously like force through the on hit. If it's just yellow, they can't. So maybe this is actually good for us. Because now they're not going to be able to keep this around. Okay. It's not terrible. I guess now we can just send in like CNC. Obviously, all red hand I think is a little bit unfortunate, but I think that's kind of part of the I guess like part of the cost you have to pay for playing Rhinar. But we can get some blocks out of them here. I guess we're happy with that. Hopefully they don't have like a CLV or something in our arsenal. Okay, we get rid of a Shockwave, which is pretty good. Ooh, and we have a double Blood Rush turn on our hands. But it's also kind of terrible. Oh, we might have to risk it here. We could Barraging first. I guess we can, like, block with Barraging. How do they give this go again, I guess the question. Maybe we throw Barraging in front of this and then also throw... Maybe we just... That's it. We just throw Barraging in front of this and see how they give it go again. I don't think they have a way. I guess they can, like, Lightning Greaves, but... Seems pretty inefficient. Oh, and that's all they're doing? That must be a really bad Aurora hand. Alright, we're going to go for the Blood Rush. We're going to try to do it at least a little bit low risk. Almost wondering if we had an opportunity to use Savage Sash a little bit earlier, just so that we can like turn it on for the Blood Rush turn, but we'll try to go for it here at least. Alright, so we can Claw, discard Wind Up. You can also pop Sash here and then send in Savage Feast to end it on. Maybe that's good. I kind of regret not blocking with this sooner. Like, we definitely had opportunities to, but I think I was maybe just not paying attention. So I think we're going to go for Claw, break Savage Sash, play Savage Feast, get a random Arsenal, and then hopefully just send a bunch of... We're pushing 18 damage here, I think, which is pretty alright. They do still have that balance, which is definitely scary. Yeah, it's matchups like these where I wonder, like, how good even is the Rhinar, like, hero ability here. Feels like it's pretty bad, just because, like, they almost never want to block anyways. I guess if we, like, banish reacts, it's obviously pretty decent, but... Okay, that could be pretty good for next turn. So we can get them down to functionally 5. I think we're in a pretty good spot. They're going to have, like, a 6-card hand against us, which is... definitely suspect, especially with the Lightning Greaves. Okay, it seems like they have Shelter in Arsenal. That's also pretty good. So they're at functionally 9. All right, we're not... Or apparently they're opting not to crack balance there, which is also really good for us, I think. So now they're only having a 4-card Arc Lightning hand. So I guess I'm okay with this. I do think that we definitely missed some value on the Savage Sash. But that's probably just my inexperience with the deck. Okay, let's go ahead and take 4 here, because I think that we're going to be able to send this hand pretty easily. Like, the biggest risk is if we, like, draw a discard off Wild Ride and we hit something off the top that we discard. But everything in hand we're able to discard pretty efficiently. Alright, it seems like they're maybe not having super optimal hands here, because they've been taking some pretty, I think, inefficient lines just with, like... Maybe they're not having enough Gogan sources or something, I'm not entirely sure. But it definitely seems like they're maybe missing out on some damage here. I don't think you ever want to pitch 2 reds if you... Unless you have, like, CLV out or something. Okay, but we'll try to go for it here. So, start do we want to start with the Wild Ride or the Pulping? I guess we'll start with the Wild Ride and see what happens, because we'd rather maximize our number of 6s. Alright, we discard Savage Beast, which is good. And then we get our first and Tim off. So we should be fine here, I think. We can also like claw and then finish on Swing Big if we want to. I think that's probably like the most damage we can push here. Do 6, 3, 8. Pretty good numbers. So yeah, I think we'll send in Claw here just because it's low risk and we already drew discard a card, and then we'll finish on Swing Big, which I think should kill them here. I'm kind of surprised they didn't crack the balance earlier. But maybe it seems like their last hand was a little bit bricky. All right, and hopefully this gets there. They might have 2 3-blocks in hand, in which case they may be able to stay alive, but it seems like pretty unlikely that Aurora has two 3-blocks. And yeah, it seems like they're gonna give us all their broken armor here. All right, Somersault in the end makes sense. All right, pretty good game, I think, to start us off on. I'm kind of curious what they're running. So they're running Flicker Wisp. They're running like Shelters, Scars. Okay, definitely some good information. I have no idea how this matchup plays. I think this is my first time playing it. So let's see if we can get another. All right, we got a Jarl. I guess I feel like we want to probably just go first in Jarl and then just try to be aggro. Guess we'll go ahead and get in our pummels. I don't think reacts are all that necessary. I feel like we maybe just want to go for like full aggro. I could also see like maybe fat taking a little bit being correct. Like maybe bring in like the rampage and then this and just run like a little bit over. Could also run the thick hide hunters as well, maybe for like an Oakenold. Give them a good luck, have fun. Let's see how this goes. All right, so how do we want to start this off? Guess we can go ahead and start off with like a Wild Ride. See how it goes. Intimidate. Yeah, I guess we can just do like Claw, or we can have like Arsenal Swing Big or something. Alright, so they're going to opt to Blizzard here. I guess this is fine. Go ahead and just like pay 2. And then I guess we'll just Arsenal the Swing Big here. So you get a little bit of graveyard value, obviously. Pretty good. Blizzard definitely hurt us a little bit there. Alright, coming in with the Mulch. I think we do not care about the Mulch because it's not fused. Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and take this. And then what are we doing on our turn? We could go for the Blood Rush Bellow, but it's definitely a little bit risky here, to say the least. I guess we can like Sand Sketch getting something and then do something. Maybe we just gotta YOLO the Blood Rush and hope it works out. This is a hand where I wish I was like had a Rhinar on the call to like figure out what to actually do with this hand. I guess we're gonna go for it. Okay, we did get lucky. That's good, I guess. I think you maybe just need to be a little bit lucky with this deck to do well. I have no idea. This deck is kind of a pile of trash in my unseasoned Rhinar eye opinion, I guess. But like you can obviously do well with it. So if you've got like 1,000 hours on this hero, I think that maybe he does become S tier. But I have like an hour, so this is definitely a little bit suspect here. Pretty good turn though. Just get to send 18. We also still have that other Swing Big in Arsenal. So definitely looking pretty good. We got them to half, which is also decent. All right, facing down the Oakenold, revealing a Canopy Shelter and a Frozen Death. I feel like we're just supposed to try to block this. Obviously not with like the Reckless. I guess we just have to throw like 6 armor in front of it and then the Swing Big, or the Beast Within rather. And then I guess we go for Wild Ride plus Swing Big. This kind of works. Just try to be a little bit aggressive here. And then start with the Wild Ride. Alright, discarded blue pummel is per usual. Yeah, the pummels here are definitely, like, I'm not entirely sure what matchup you want the pummels in, but it feels like every time I bring them in, they're kind of bad. I don't know. Maybe it's for a hero that I'm not thinking about, but like, God, they've been bad like very frequently. But again, probably also just playing this deck wrong. Alright, so we have the Mangle coming in. I imagine they're either going to blow up the Savage Sash or the Bonebreaker here. This is only coming for 10, no Dominate. We could try to go for a block on this. Like, what if we blocked with Skullcrack, Mighty Windup? We blocked here and then also gave up Flashback, but I guess that just kind of leaves us with the same problem, right? I guess we can just like maybe no block this and then just see how it goes. Maybe that's actually the strat. Yeah, I think we just let them hit with this and take their pick of what piece of armor they want. I imagine it's either one of these two. All right, Savage Sash, I suppose, makes the most sense. Then we can pummel a Swing Big if we really want to, or we can go for like Scabs. I guess we're pummeling a Swing Big. All right, so they got another Unforgetting, which is going to be probably pretty good here. Take out our other two pieces of armor. And then I guess we are still just going for the pummel. I don't know if this is even good, because we obviously have to pitch two cards to do it here. Alright, get a Terror Sunder out of them, which could be good. Alright, seems like they're going to dominate this Mangle. Pretty alright. We can pummel a Battlefront Bastion at them. Is that even good? Is this deck even good? I guess is the question. I guess we can like, maybe that's like too cute. I guess we can like block like here, and then we deny the Mangle on hit, I guess. And then we also get to keep Scabs around, and then we just send Battlefront Arsenal to pummel. Maybe it's better. Because that way that we're at least not giving up Scabs for what Scabs is worth, which is also, I don't know. I don't know what this card is worth. All right, send in our sad little yellow 6 here. Maybe we don't want this in this matchup. Maybe we're not supposed to fat deck. Maybe this is more of a race matchup, but I guess it kind of depends on like what version of Jarl this is. It seems like a non-CYB Jarl, but I could obviously be wrong on that. It seems like they're going to use Crown, which maybe indicates to me like an Oakenold or something. Getting their first Decompose as well is pretty good. Alright, it's blocking the full 6. Pretty good. They do have a CNC Pummel, for what that's worth, but looks like they also might have a CNC Pummel. I feel like we're supposed to just throw Scowling in front of this and YOLO on the 50-50. Because otherwise we're just like getting like pummeled almost 100%. I'll take the 50-50 on that. Okay, seems like we succeeded the 50-50. Alright, go ahead and send in the CNC. So I'm putting them on pummel. At least one of those two cards is pummel. Let's see if they can get another target here. Alright, maybe they're going to be pummeling a Mangle at us. Alright, they're out of Mangles? Yes, they are out of Mangles. Okay. I guess that's beneficial. So 2 cards in hand, they still have that pummel. One of these 2 cards is pummel. I assume it's probably Arsenal's pummel. Alright, coming in with the mulch, no fuse. So I guess we now kind of do have free reign here. So I guess we're just taking this. And then this card in Arsenal is presumably pummel. Alright, let's go ahead and Water Ride. Discard the Splatter Skull here. Intimidate. Then we can pummel this. Is that worth it? I guess? You have the Sink Below. Let's see if they have another react here, I guess. They can quick dodge, I guess, get the card out of their hand, and then we can just Arsenal Pulping here is maybe okay. This all kind of seems fine for me. Oh, is it Felling in? Wait. Oh, were they just like baiting the CNC? That could also be the case. All right, so Felling coming in. Let's, I guess, go ahead and get rid of... I guess it doesn't really matter between these two. Let's put that on the bottom, and then we go to 2. It's pretty good, but hopefully this Blood Rush can maybe get us there. It's got to be a pretty good Blood Rush, though. All right, draw into a Pulping. I guess we're going to start with the Arsenal Pulping and then hope to draw into like a resource or get a resource up the Skullcrack. Okay, I think that did work out. Then we can play another Pulping. This maybe works-ish. Could also like double claw. All right, they give us Frostbite, so I guess we're now priced into playing the other Pulping. Wait, what? Did we lose? Wait, what happened? Oh, okay, so I see what happened. We Beast Within, we hit 2 Barragings, a Ripple Away, and a Savage Feast, and we killed ourselves with the Beast Within off the top. That's very funny. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good way to end the video there. Again, I don't know if I'm playing this deck right. Also, they're not on Seawave, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this deck is... Oh, it's not for me. I feel like this deck is for people who are much braver than I am. This deck is... I played at least a couple games on this, and this is probably indicative of why I like stopped playing Rhinar, which is like just randomly like draw discarding into stuff that you probably don't want, which is always I guess part of the variance of Rhinar. But I guess we weren't like necessarily even killing there anyways, maybe because I think they still had some amount of cards in hand. But anyways, this was Eugene's list. I probably played this like very poorly, but again, I didn't have a lot of time this week to really prepare for After Friday, so I hope you all just enjoyed some terrible Rhinar gameplay. We did at least get a game though, so I can't be too upset with myself. But again, I am not an expert in this deck, and this deck is still kind of largely, I think, a mystery to me. So yeah, thank you all for watching. And again, if you want to go see like a good Rhinar player, go watch any of Eugene's games. I think he had a really great game at Colin Kobe that T and I were watching. So definitely the foremost, I guess, expert on Rhinar. And again, I think this is more of me just like not understanding this hero than this hero actually being after. This hero is actually like probably pretty solid. Like I've seen it do some pretty crazy things. It's just I think the variance is kind of what you got to manage a little bit better. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.